The sun was barely rising over the vast savannah, casting long shadows across the ground. In the early morning light, a figure knelt beside a dried-out riverbed. His name was Arok. He was strong, his muscles sculpted by years of survival, yet his eyes reflected a deep wariness, a constant alertness to the dangers of the wild. The world he knew was harsh, unforgiving, and filled with predators both seen and unseen. Arok was one of the first of his kind. He wasn't fully human, but he was more than just an ape. His hands, capable of gripping tools, and his keen sense of observation set him apart. He had no language to speak of, no stories to share, but he knew what survival meant. It was something that each passing day taught him in a new way. Today, like every day, Arok was searching for food. The land around him, though abundant in wildlife, was also filled with competition. The large predators, the saber-toothed cats and the giant hyenas, were always on the prowl. But Arok was different. He had learned to adapt. He wasn't the strongest nor the fastest, but he had something that the others didn't: a sharp mind and the ability to think ahead. He rose to his feet, scanning the horizon. He could see the herds of antelope grazing on the edge of the grasslands. But he wasn't after them today. His goal was something more elusive: roots and berries hidden beneath the ground. He had learned that some plants could be eaten, others were deadly. It was knowledge passed on through trial and error, and he had learned to trust the wisdom of his body when it came to the right foods. Arok's tribe had survived because of this knowledge. It wasn't just strength or speed that ensured their survival. It was their ability to understand the world around them and use what it offered. The sun was climbing higher, and Arok's search brought him to a patch of thorny shrubs. He knelt, carefully digging with a sharp stone in the soil. Beneath the surface, his fingers brushed against a thick, tuber-like root. Arok's heart quickened with hope. He dug deeper, his hands trembling slightly as he unearthed the prize. It was a nutritious root, perfect for eating. But his triumph was short-lived. From the corner of his eye, he saw movement. A large, powerful creature, a lion, had spotted him. Instinct kicked in. Arok dropped the root and sprinted toward the trees, weaving between them as the lion gave chase. The chase felt endless, but Arok's mind was sharp. He knew the land better than the lion did. With a quick turn, he darted into a dense thicket. The lion, unable to follow, roared in frustration. Arok paused for a moment, his heart pounding, and then he let out a breath of relief. He had survived. But survival wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to simply avoid death. It was about securing life. As the lion retreated, Arok returned to the root, knowing that every day brought new challenges. His life was a constant balance between risk and reward, between danger and survival. As the days passed, Arok's bond with his tribe deepened. He was not alone in the world. They were a tight-knit group, working together to survive the wilderness. Each member had a role to play, and their success depended on their unity. Arok wasn't just a solitary figure anymore. He was part of a family, a tribe that depended on him as much as he depended on them. The tribe gathered at the base of a tall, ancient tree in the heart of the savannah. The leader, Korra, a woman of great strength and wisdom, had begun to prepare for the hunt. Arok joined the others, ready for the day's challenge. Hunting was dangerous, and it required not just skill, but cooperation. Unlike the predators that roamed the land, Arok and his tribe worked as a team, using their minds to outsmart the creatures they pursued. They moved in a silent, coordinated group, stalking a herd of antelope grazing near a waterhole. The strategy was simple. While the others drove the antelope toward a specific point, Arok and two other hunters would ambush them. It was dangerous work, and it required speed, precision, and courage. Arok's heart raced as he sprinted with the others, his feet barely touching the ground. He could feel the adrenaline coursing through his veins, sharpening his senses. He heard the pounding of hooves in the distance as the antelope ran. He could see the movement of the herd, and he knew it was time. With a swift motion, he hurled his spear, aiming for the weakest member of the herd. The spear struck true, and the antelope fell to the ground, its life slipping away. The tribe celebrated their victory, their laughter filling the air as they shared in the feast. Arok sat with them, his stomach full, but his mind already thinking ahead. The hunt was important, but it was only one part of their survival. They needed to be able to work together in every aspect of life, whether for food, shelter, or protection. Days turned into weeks, and Arok's tribe continued to adapt to their environment. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, something extraordinary happened. A lightning strike hit a nearby tree, causing a burst of fire to erupt from the trunk. The tribe was startled at first, but Cora, the wise leader, stepped forward. "We must learn from this," she said. "This fire can give us warmth, protect us from predators, and cook our food." The tribe had never encountered fire like this before. They had seen it from a distance, but they had never understood how to harness it. But now, they had an opportunity to change their lives forever. Arok watched as Cora approached the fire, cautiously but with purpose. She used a large stick to poke the flames, testing its heat. Slowly, she drew a circle around it, marking a boundary for safety. Over the next several days, the tribe experimented, learning how to maintain the fire, how to keep it from going out, and how to use it to cook their food and ward off predators. For Arok, it was a revelation. Fire became more than just a tool. It was a symbol of power and control over the wild. It allowed the tribe to cook meat, making it easier to digest and providing them with the energy needed to survive. It kept them warm during cold nights and illuminated the dark, dangerous world around them. Fire was now a central part of their existence. The land around Arok's tribe was changing. Seasons shifted, and the once lush savanna began to dry up. The rivers shrank, and the herds of antelope grew scarcer. It was clear that the tribe needed to move, to find a new place to settle before the resources ran out. The decision to migrate was not made lightly. The journey would be long and perilous. But Arok and Cora knew it was the only way for the tribe to survive. They gathered their belongings, including tools, dried meat, and fire-starting materials, and began the long trek across the savanna. As they traveled, they encountered new dangers. The land was full of unfamiliar predators, giant cats with massive jaws and strange creatures with tusks like trees. The tribe had to remain alert, always watching for signs of danger. Yet, they also found new sources of food, discovering hidden groves of fruit-bearing trees and rich patches of soil where roots could be dug. One night, as they rested by the fire, Arok sat apart from the others, his mind racing. The journey had not been easy, and the weight of responsibility was heavy on his shoulders. But he knew that this was a defining moment for the tribe. If they could survive this migration, they would be stronger than ever before. The journey had taken its toll on the tribe. Many had fallen ill, and a few had been injured along the way. But Arok and the others pushed on, driven by the need to find a new home. After many days of travel, they finally reached a valley, lush with resources, water, fertile land, and an abundance of wildlife. This place felt different. It was as if the earth itself had welcomed them, providing everything they needed to thrive. The tribe quickly settled, building shelters from branches and leaves, and marking their new territory with care. For Arok, this was the moment when everything came together. He saw the bonds between the members of his tribe grow stronger. They had faced hardships together, and now they could finally rest. The world around them seemed less hostile, less dangerous. With fire to keep them safe, tools to hunt, and the knowledge they had gathered over the years, Arok knew that the tribe would endure. As he sat by the fire one evening, surrounded by his family, Arok realized that survival wasn't just about food or shelter. It was about the people you shared your life with, the ones who had your back through thick and thin. It was about the strength of the bonds that held them together. And in that moment, Arok understood that his journey had only just begun.